So you must be able to revoke the offer. It must be communicated, it must be written, it must be transmitted to the proper person that you are revoking an offer, and it must be done within certain period of the offer. So these are all very very specific items, in terms of the eyes of the law. Okay. And then invitation to treat, or invitation like the advertisements, like invitation to tenders, all these shoppings, when you put a price on the item itself, these are all regarded as invitation to offer. It's not offer. Okay, so be very clear what is an offer, what is invitation to offer. Like I say, if I put at the back of my car, I drive around, or you ride your bicycle and say that, buy me for how much, so it's not an offer. Is actually you cannot take it up like that. You must offer. You must say that, yes, are you sure you want to sell? How much? 5,000? Confirm? Okay, then you are offering, and then the other side will accept. Okay, so and okay, so if the shop here, there's a something called, something that we have to remember. So shop do not have to sell the good at the marked price. If the owner of the food or beverage put the mark wrongly, then you insist on buying at the marked price. Okay, so this is the principle here, because they are only doing invitation to offer. You cannot insist on buying a particular item or a particular you have the right not to buy later, but you cannot insist on them selling to you at a certain price that they put there, or the certain items that they're putting there. If they say there's a piece of radio that they're putting there as a sample, and say I want to buy that particular sample, then you cannot insist on that. Okay, you don't have the right to insist, because that is only invitation to offer. Okay, right. Then there must be an acceptance. Acceptance is the same as offer. It must be communicated. It must be clear. It must be very very sure. It must be unconditional. If there is a conditional, like such as I accept the offer subjected to the following condition, then that is not a full acceptance. It is something to be very very careful. So you need to talk about that subjected to, and be put that as a part of the final. That is a counter offer. So it's only when the other party accept everything that is mentioned, including the subjected to, and then we have a proper contract. Okay, otherwise, invitation, offer, acceptance, or invitation offer, acceptance, that is a very clear cut. So circumstances is invitation to offer, acceptance, but with a condition. Then there is another final acceptance from the other party. So the role of a promiser and promisee actually changes depending on which stage, like which part you are in, you see. So again, the offer must be completely clear, and acceptance must be also completely clear, and it must be unconditional. And if you look at Kali and Carbolic smoke bowl, these are considered as a unilateral contract. It's saying that, okay, this particular item, we're selling this, and it can do this, it can this is this is what we promise you that will happen if you use a smoke ball, for example. So this is the case of 1893 that forms that, when the offer are being put to the public at large, general public at large, these are considered as unilateral contract. Okay, so bilateral are the ones that engineering contract are usually made, like together, like you do this, I do this, is a bilateral contract. So there's offeree, offeror taking up, each one of us have our own responsibilities and our own rights and all that. Okay. So acceptance, like I say, it must be unconditional. It can be oral, but like I say, oral are always difficult, very very difficult to prove. So I wouldn't want you to go down that track. So again, the acceptance not so bad, but at the end of the day, everything has to be offer acceptance in terms of oral is still not too bad, because there will always be a point that you need to go and make up a contract and do up a contract and sign up a contract. So there will always be the intention to create that legal relation. So that will actually override whatever oral. So at the end of the day, obviously written is better, but overall contract, I would really say please get it written, okay? Not by the word of mouth, by using words, okay, or conduct or implication. So even though it says that it can be implied, terms can be implied, but it's not that kind of implied, So implied would generally means express or implied. Express means that it's stated very clearly. Implied means that, even though you don't say it, but it goes without saying that this is what a normal person will do. A normal, general, healthy person will do something like this when you say yes, for example. So if you're leaving people to guess your intention, then that kind of implied cannot be applied, okay? All right. So silence is not consent. Silence is in no manner in that sense that saying that you are implying to accept the contract, okay? And acceptance must be unconditional, okay? So these are some of the rules, fast rules. So by postals, you cannot say that I sent it out and therefore everything is everything is settled. The person must receive it in a certain period that is being stated. Okay, so I think you can read through this. It's about rules regarding offer and acceptance. Okay, let me have a look at this. Okay, this is acceptance. Okay, so the second rule here, besides offer and acceptance, the second part of the rules is actually a consideration. So no agreement is binding unless there is a consideration. If you're doing something for free for some people, then there will not be a contract. There's no exchange. There's no consideration. Is a thing or a service that must be that is a promise that there must be something valid. There's something solid there. We cannot just have this ingredient is a must. Even if it's a 1 ringgit, is actually a consideration. It's actually a promise. So if you say a gratuitous promise, it's not considered as enforceable. Meaning that I just do it for you because you've been kind to me, or a father and a daughter. I mean, like, if your dad says to you that he's going to give you $1 million tomorrow, so that kind of family relations, and just because of love, or there's another way of putting it. Is like there's an example that I always use. Is like if you tell a guy, I mean if girls like to say this, if you love me, you buy me this. If you love me, you will give me 100,000 ringgit. Your wife probably do that. So if you love me, you probably give me 100,000 ringgit, and then that is to show that you love me. So is that a contract? And then the guy said, oh yes, I love you so much, I will give you that. And tomorrow he didn't love you anymore, so he didn't give you that. So is that considered as a contract? Actually it's not, because this is, even though there is amount of money that is passing through them, but then based on family connection and love, these sort of things are a little bit hard to prove in court. Okay, so the promise cannot be a gratuitous promise. It cannot be based on relationship kind of thing. It cannot be based on love. It cannot be based on care. Or gratitude. So these are not legal. I mean, not enforceable. It's not to say that it's not legal. It is legal. But it's not enforceable by the law. So to make a valid contract, you must have there must be a proper consideration, and that is something of a value, something that will need to move between the two parties. There must be an exchange, that will base on a consideration, an amount, okay, a value. So you do something, I do something, but we're doing it based on the basis of that particular value, okay, and that is what we call a consideration.